today we're going to be talking about how to deal with neck pain, a little bit of whiplash, that kind of thing. What are the strategies you can use at home to support that area of your body? So whenever we have a whiplash, for example, there's a knock back of the head quite vigorously, which can often catch in the smaller muscles at the back of the neck, some of the joints, and then the energetic points behind that area. So we're going to just see how we can go at releasing that. So you're going to need 2 towels. So the first towel we're going to roll up into a little ball or cylinder shape, and the second towel we'll just lay out nice and long. So we'll use them at different times. But we're going to start lying onto your back. So remember, when you're getting down, anything that causes discomfort in the neck, just make it down as easy as you can. So our first towel is going to go behind the back of the skull. So this is important that you don't slip it into the neck, where it can sometimes feel pretty comfortable to put a towel. We want it right up against the cranium or the skull bone, so that we've got some space to move. Just make sure you're nice and comfortable on the mat surface. And when you're ready to, you're just going to draw your chin down towards your throat. You're not going to go very far. And then we're going to tilt the chin up toward the ceiling. So we're just getting a little balancing of your skull back onto its first vertebra. So as I mentioned, if you have whiplash or neck pain, maybe you've slept funny, all these different things, and that can start to create a little bit of discomfort in this area. We're resetting the bones so that they are in a better position with each other, so that your movement and your muscles can be at their best. And then come to find a balanced position, and we're just going to tilt your head towards one side and then to the other. So when we're in these ranges that can feel a little stiff, you're not going to go to the end range. I'm not asking you to turn your head all the way towards the floor. That takes a lot of effort. So I want you to just feel like you're massaging out the back of your skull area. So that ridge, we call it the occipital ridge, where many of our muscles are attaching. So we're just giving it some feedback with the towel behind us. And then come back into the center. Now this one, if this was a ball behind you, you would push your head into the ball as though you were deflating it, and then just rest up again. So it's a kind of a retraction movement. So your head pushing down into the towel surface and then resetting. It's not like the first one where we drop the chin down. So don't do that version. It's just a pushing of the head into the floor or the towel and then resetting, and then one more time. And then we're going to finish with the circular movement. So just going around the edges. And as we're doing this move, you're going to be focusing in your own body where it feels like it's catching. Is it catching more at, a corner edge or a top or a bottom edge? And the more you do these exercises, that should ease off. So the first time you're doing this, it may have a little bit of a sting to it. But then the more you do, this in repetition perhaps, then that's going to ease off. So never will we be able to fix anything in one go. So it doesn't matter what you read or who you listen to. You need to do repetitive movements consistently and regain your postural alignment in order for us to make a very big difference in your overall setup. And then coming to balance back to your starting point. So that was just a little bit of feedback for the head. Now the head is not working on its own. It's connected to the rest of the body. So we're going to take ourselves into a few more ranges. So the first thing we're going to do is turn over onto our side. So the cushion or the towel should be in support of you. In this position, you want to make sure that you're comfortable on this underneath shoulder. So we don't want to be, sort of crammed up like that. So just making sure that arm is stretched out. Top arm, we're going to lead forward. We're going to stretch a little further over the front of your hand. And then with a bent elbow, we're going to take it back behind us. And you're just going to let your head roll on the towel as you look towards the opposite side, and then coming forward and get that stretch to the front. So as I mentioned, because the neck and shoulders are very closely related, we're getting a little bit more of moving our attention away from the area that feels stuck. So, sometimes we're so obsessed with the symptoms, and what I'm trying to do is go more deeper to the cause and release other parts of your body so that you're not staying in that feeling of resistance in your neck. And then one more time as we roll the head and chest back. and then coming forward again. So from here, we're going to roll you over to the opposite side. So again, just using the base of the towel as your support, setting yourself up. So we want to feel head, shoulders, pelvis all in a straight line, not a diagonal line. And then again, reaching your hand to the front and then drawing the elbow back, looking behind you as you do. And then again, going forward. So these kind of moves, even though they're very subtle, what you are looking for is not trying to get to your end range of movement. You're just playing with what is available and always paying attention to where do I feel this when it catches or if it catches, so that you've got information so that the next time you do it, does it still catch in that area or has it eased off? So being part of your movement experience is really important. It's great that I can tell you what to do, but you are the one who actually has to feel it. And then one more time as we slide ourselves back again. So from this next position, we're going to come up. We're just going to move the towel just a little bit lower down now. So as we go over, we're going to set that towel around about your shoulder blade line. This is important now that we hold the head for support. We don't want to drop the head back without that connection. But we are going to extend our spine backward over the towel surface. So now we're in our upper back and creating some freedom here. You're going to let the hand sort of pull the crown of the head down into a nod and then peeling up to look towards your legs and then stretching your chest over the edge of the towel again. And then repeating that the hands are pulling up against that base of the occiput that we were just releasing on the towel before, and then returning yourself back. We'll just do one more together at this point. So as we're rolling up, there's no tipping of your pelvis backward. It's just in the upper body coming high and then going low. Now, if you're really happy at that place and want to stay, then go there. Otherwise, if you want to, bring the towel down just a little bit more by moving yourself up the mat slightly. So new position, new information, different place for your body to feel some stuff. So again, you've got that heaviness in your hands. So the head is supported. Now, if you didn't know this, the brain and the head are weighing about between 5 to 7 kilograms, which is a lot of weight of your body. So, you want to be supportive in your arms. And you may notice my elbow tips are facing forward. I haven't flung them out to the side. There really is this lovely, like a baseball mitt or a cricket glove, whatever you can see, that really dense area of holding into your body. And then resting yourself down. So again, we're going to tip you off to the side, just removing the towel from behind your chest area. And what we're going to end up now doing is placing the towel underneath your pelvis. So again, just resting the back of the hips onto this area. So our head is connected to our pelvis via our spine. So we're going to do similar movements that we did in the head. So we're just going to do a little rocking of the pelvis backward and rocking of the pelvis forward. So as you're doing that, there's this sense of motion going up and down the spine like a wave, or like a tide coming into the shore and then retreating back to the ocean. And then let's just settle back where we feel very balanced across the hips. You're just going to rock your hip down onto a heavier side on one side, a lighter side on the other. So we're just getting the side to side motion. When we did our head, we were turning our nose from one way to the other. So if you imagine that your pelvis was your head, could you just see that rolling of your hips from one direction to the other? And then coming back to your center point. We're going to finish with a little circular motion. So we may do about 4 circles going in each direction. And because you're on the elevated surface of the towel, you'll feel dropping down on one side, dropping down on the other side. And then back to your center, and then we'll reverse your circle direction. And just as we experienced in the head, maybe one direction is easier or smoother, more controlled. Everyone feels something slightly different. And then again, coming back into your center alignment. So taking the towel now away from the base of the pelvis, you're going to reach for the next towel that we laid out. And this time it's going to come behind the back of your skull area. So what you're going to do is grab a hold of the ends of the towel. It's going to close over your ears a little bit, and your elbow tips are facing up, and you've got the sense like you're pulling the towel towards the ceiling. So we're going to do that little nod again. And I encourage you just to go to the position that feels comfortable for you. Sometimes we have to go through a little barrier of discomfort to get higher up in the movement. But if it's really causing you distress, then you're just going to stay and feel like you're lengthening the arms to the ceiling and then relaxing them back down again. But otherwise, we're doing that same little nod when we had our hands behind our head. And we're just getting this mobility to come back into the nervous system. Again, yes, of course, our brain and spinal cord are right in this area of the back of the neck. So it's really important to regulate ourselves back into a feeling of comfort and safety through our neck area. One more time like that. And then we're coming back down. Now this next one, we're going to do a rotation. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull on your right arm, and it's going to turn your head towards the left. My head is just off the floor as I do this. And then I'm going to release, and then I'm going to pull with my left arm, aiming it a little higher to the sky as my head turns in opposite ways. The hardest part of this is to really relax your head and let your arms be the mover for you. So your head is just coming along for the ride as the towel is changing its direction, which means your head is changing its direction. I'm finding it very difficult to keep my eyes open as I'm talking you through this because it feels so nurturing and loving. This is a move I often do with my clients when I'm treating their neck. So I'm usually the one holding the towel and they are surrendering into it. Opening your arms out towards the side and then bringing the arms back in again. So we still have those bent elbows and then opening the arms out. And maybe you get fully to the floor, maybe you don't, but you still have the corners of the towel and then bringing it back up. And we'll do that just 2 more times, widening the arms and returning them in. And then a final time to widen, and we're going to stay here. We're going to release the towel, and we should feel quite balanced here onto our mat surface. So we've got one more movement to make before we finish our session today, and that is to work underneath the jawline. So a lot of muscles here from the jaw connected to the throat, connected to the back of the neck. They're also going to be on some tensioning if you've done any discomfort to your neckline. So you're going to start with your thumbs at your chin, and you're going to be poking up and into the soft tissue of your under chin. So I won't be able to talk a lot through this because if you talk, you will start to cough potentially. So placing the thumbs underneath the jawline, and we're going to walk our thumbs all the way along the jawbone until you get to the corner of your jaw. So just walking that out. And by the time you get to the edge of the jaw, you're going to notice which side felt more sort of reactive. And we're going to do it again. So we'll go back to the midline of the chin. And just palpating all the way to the edge of the jaw. Now you can keep going with the little palpations, or we're going to slide the thumbs from the chin all the way out to the jaw. So from here, away we go. And because this is your body, you can put as much or as little pressure as you want because you're the one who has to tolerate it. We'll do that again. And then we're going to end up with our thumbs just hooked at the corner of your jawline. And the image I want you to create is that you're pulling your jaw apart. So your 2 thumbs are going to be moving away from each other. It's a small movement, but it's, using your imagination can make it much bigger. So widening and pulling apart. And then relaxing. And then we'll do that one more time. Widen and pull. And then releasing from there. So just have a moment here where we just have our head rested on the floor, our pelvis on the floor, our body on the floor. And just pay attention to some breathing now. So whenever we feel contraction in the body, whether that be from neck tension, whiplash, cold, muscle soreness, all those things. The body pulls in. So what we want to create here is a sense of opening out. So we're going to inhale and really feel like we take up space as we breathe in. And then as we breathe out, without feeling like you're narrowing and pulling, just let everything soften again. So the image I have in my mind right now is like if you were watching clouds in the sky and you just see how the clouds sort of take up space. And then as you exhale, they're just going to change their space and move a little bit more towards each other rather than drawing away. And if the cloud image doesn't work for you, maybe you can see a balloon blowing up. And then just releasing the air out of the balloon. And then we'll come back into the moment. Just wriggling your fingers and your toes just to bring you back into the space. And take your time getting up from the side. So remember, if your head is a little bit challenged, to come away from the floor, just being really gentle with yourself. So hopefully that worked. And if it did, leave me a comment below. I always love creating content for people who need things that are specific to them. So if you enjoyed the video, remember to like, share, comment, or subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again soon.